and gentlemen, to your virtual segment of When You Want to Give Up, Give In. I am here to encourage you. I am here to impart into you practical tips and tools on how to take authority and dominion over your emotional well being. As an entrepreneur, as a seasoned entrepreneur, as an inspiring entrepreneur, you are going to encounter that moment when you want to give up, when you want to simply throw in the towel. And I am here to ignite the fire within you to keep going, my sister, to keep going, my brother, to continue to walk in your God-given assignment, to continue to walk in the purpose that God has given you. If He has given you this assignment, that means that you have the tools necessary to carry it out. You are already equipped with the tools necessary to see your dream, to see the vision come to pass. So I am here to simply help you to get in a place of solitude, to get in a place to hold the power, to get in the place to be secure and content with who you are and where you are in this present time when it comes to entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not easy, but it can be done. So I am here to simply encourage you to keep going. So those of you that are new to me, my name is author Anika Stewart. I am an inspirational speaker and life coach. I empower women to unveil the mask from all insecurities, present and past circumstances, and focus on internal happiness opposed to the external appearance. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking about when you want to give up. Let's talk about that for a few moments. When you want to give up, what is going on in that moment? You're frustrated, you're overwhelmed, you have anxiety, you are angry. There's a lot of different emotions that are going on with you in that moment of wanting to give up. You've lost control emotionally. You're no longer thinking about the resources that you have or that you don't have. You're no longer thinking about, the support that you have or that you don't have. You're no longer being logical about the situation, but you're in a place of instability. And that is a good place to be in. That is a great place to be in because I want to talk to you about giving in. When we talk about giving in, we are talking about being in position. I want to encourage you today that when you are in that place of instability, to get in position. Get back in position. I want you to stand flat-footed and boldly in your assignment and in your calling. I want you to take position and ownership. I want you to stand knowing that you are equipped, you are able to carry out the vision that has been assigned to you. But you have to go through. You're going to have to go through, even if that means going through by yourself, even if that means carrying out the vision by yourself until you are able to get the resources in place, until you're able to get the finances in place. You're going to have to stand in position. So when you want to give up, give in means to get in position and stay in position. We're talking about tapping into that emotion of fear and doubt and frustration and being overwhelmed and being stressed out. We're tapping into that. We're going to stay in position. We're going to get in position and stay in position. So what am I telling you? I want you to take a minute when you're in that moment to just stop and pause. Stop and pause. Give yourself a moment to meditate. Give yourself a moment to be at peace. Give yourself permission to be in a place of solitude. Sometimes we have so much going on in our lives. We got so much going on. We have so many roles that we have to fill. We're mothers, we're fathers, we're entrepreneurs. We may be in school, we may be still working our full or part-time job. So we have a lot of things going on in our lives, and it just seems to be unbearable. That's when you know you need to take a minute to just pause. Pause, stop everything, and give yourself permission to just be quiet, to just be still. When you're in that moment of just being still, when you're just in that moment of being quiet and being in a place to just receive and listen, sometimes we just need to sit still so that way we can listen, so we can hear the instruction, the guidance, and the wisdom that we need in order to keep going, to be recharged, to get that strength, to get that perseverance, to get that endurance, to get that temperament. We just need to be still. So that is point number one. I want you just to pause and be still. I want you to pause and be quiet. I just want you to be in a place of solitude. Give yourself that permission to just be still. And as you're being still, allow yourself to be guided. Allow yourself to be instructed on what to do next. So point number one is to just pause and be still. Point number two, when we talk about giving in, okay, we're talking about giving in, being in position, staying in position, is to evaluate and assess the situation. We must evaluate and assess the situation. Sometimes that means you got to revise the plan. When we're talking about entrepreneurship, yes, we wrote the vision and we made it plain. We wrote out how we're going to carry out this vision, how we're going to carry out this plan. And somewhere along the line, life happened to you. Life has happened to you. Things have allowed the vision and the plan to take some curveballs. But again, that's still according to the plan. This plan is not going to be carried out as smoothly as we think. And that's why it's important to always assess and reevaluate the plan, to become up with some streams of plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, and F. Continue to always revise your plan. You got to be able to assess it and find out, what can I do differently? What can I do differently? What am I doing that is causing me this barrier? Who am I speaking to? Sometimes it's who we're connected to. Who am I connected to that I need to disassociate from? What is causing me to become complacent? What is causing me to become stagnant in the vision and carrying it out? Those are questions that you must ask yourself. What are you speaking out of your mouth? Are you speaking negatively about the vision? Are you speaking negatively about what you have before you? So it's important that you reassess what you are doing and be honest with yourself during that evaluation. Because you can't allow your pride to get in the way. You can't allow your pride to hinder the move and the vision that God has given you. So you must be able to reassess and evaluate what needs to be done. Who do I need to disassociate from? Who do I need to connect with? Have I stepped outside of my comfortability? Have I stepped outside of my resources and connected with other people? Have I been diligent in networking? Have I been diligent and consistent in marketing my business? So these are questions that you must ask yourself, so that way you can revise the plan and begin to carry it out strategically. Point number 3 is create a solid foundation. I want you to create a solid foundation. We're talking about getting in position. So when you're talking about getting in position, what's worth fighting, what's worth having is worth fighting for. So we have to understand, if it's worth having, then it's worth fighting for. So you have to create a strong foundation. This foundation must not be weak. You have to create a solid, strong foundation. Okay? So that means, what are you going to be willing to sacrifice? What are you going to be willing to give out in order to get? What are you going to be willing to do? What sacrifices are you going to be willing to make? That's important, because when it comes to entrepreneurship, we're always sacrificing, whether it's your time, whether it's your money, whether it's, just the effort that you're putting into, you will be sacrificing along the journey. So it's important that you understand your foundation. You got to create a strong, solid foundation. And your foundation can't be weak. That means it got to be some endurance in there. It has to be some temperament in there. It has to be, of long suffering in there. Determination, the motivation, the strength, the willpower, the sacrifices. That's creating a strong foundation. So what is your foundation created upon? That means you can't allow people to be able to plant seeds of negativity and doubt and fear, because your foundation will become weak and your foundation will fall. So create a solid foundation, because as you create a solid foundation, you mature, you grow, you develop as an entrepreneur. And those are the three things that we always want to do. We want to mature, we want to grow, and we want to develop. So that means you have to get out there and you have to connect. You have to build your resources. You have to build your platform. And it's going to take the ultimate sacrifice. It's going to take the ultimate sacrifice, which is you coming outside of your comfortability. So when we talk about giving in, we got to talk about getting in position, staying in position. And I would love to share with you my journey of how I've come to a place as an entrepreneur that giving up is never an option. Giving up is never an option. Giving up is never an option. I said it 3 times, because we have to understand that when we are in that moment of frustration, the easiest thing to do is give up. The easiest thing to do is to say, forget it. I'm no longer carrying out this vision. It's too much. It's too much. I can't do this. The easiest thing to do is to say, I'm done. But when you give in and you take position and you take ownership and you take authority over your life and your vision that God has given you, you begin to reassess that situation and you say that failure is not an option. Giving up is not an option. I choose to live. I choose to carry out the vision. I choose to carry out this plan. Come hell or high water, I choose to walk out this vision that God has given me, because I am equipped. I am powerful. I am ready. If you're not ready and you're not powerful, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you that are hungry and you want more out of life. You want more out of life than just the routine that you've been living for so long. You want to live in freedom. You want to live in happiness. You want to live and pursue your dreams and your goals. So not too long ago, 2 years ago, when I began as an entrepreneur, I was working a full-time job and I was secure in my career. I was working a full-time job. So, I began to work part-time into my entrepreneurship. And as I began to take that leap of faith and begin to build my platform and begin to, do the work needed to begin to call myself this life coach, call myself this author, call myself this entrepreneur, I knew that I had the stability of my job. So I was working full time. So my full-time job was how I was able to plant the seeds and invest within myself. So I published my book. I published my first book, Diaries of an Elect Lady. and I'm still working my full-time job, and things are going good. Things are going great. I'm marketing. I'm able to do anything and everything that I need to do in order to carry out this plan, until I had to make a decision to whether I wanted to continue to work in this full-time position as a counselor with my benefits, with everything that comes along with that, or take a part-time job due to some situations that were occurring at my full-time job. So I made a decision to leave my full-time job, to leave my benefits, to leave my security, and go working part-time, not realizing the sacrifice that I just made, not understanding that I still have a family of 4 to feed. I still am a single mother that has a mortgage to pay, and I am still in school pursuing my bachelor's degree. So I didn't even really take in all of these factors, that here I am, I'm going from full-time work to part-time work and still pursuing entrepreneurship. And those of us that can attest, entrepreneurship is all about investment. It's all about sacrifice. It's all about time and effort. It's all about consistency. So here I am, I'm working part-time. And as I'm working part-time, I'm continuing to pursue my vision as an entrepreneur. So I'm constantly making sacrifices. I'm constantly networking. And in me doing that, it came a place in my life where the bills were piling up. The bills were piling up. There was times where me and my children didn't know what we were going to eat for the night. Sometimes we just had to live off peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, tuna fish sandwiches, hot dogs, and baked beans. And I'm being very honest with you. But even through that transition, there were times when I wanted to say, I'm going to give up. I can no longer pursue my vision. I can no longer pursue my dream because my bills are piling up. Me and my children are eating sandwiches for dinner. I'm trying to continue to go to school and get my education and work and pursue entrepreneurship. This is beginning to be too much. I can't do this. Until I had a self-check. And I said, anything worth fighting for is worth having. And I had to make up in my mind that this is worth fighting for. This is worth having. So I had to continue to make the sacrifices. I had to continue to make the sacrifices to not give in to my emotions of fear, doubt, of my limitations that was before me, but take position. I had to take position. I had to stand in position. And thanks be unto God that gives us the victory, because he allowed me to eventually get a full-time job to where I did not lose my home. I did not lose anything. I didn't lose my car. I didn't lose anything because God provided, because I was willing and obedient. I was willing to sacrifice and keep going. So what I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy when you are pursuing entrepreneurship, when you are pursuing greatness, when you are pursuing your purpose. It comes with a sacrifice. And I say that from a place of experience. And yes, even today, I'm faced with many trials and sacrifices, but I choose to live. I choose to carry out the plan. So I encourage you to tap in to those emotions of fear, regret, embarrassment. I admonish you to tap into those emotions and take position and begin to tell yourself that it's worth having. It's worth fighting for. So choose to live today. Choose to be liberated. Choose to be free. Choose to improve daily. Be vivacious and enlightened. And know that if God has assigned you to this purpose, you are already equipped. You are already prepared for what's to come. But you have to first recognize it. You have to first be able to recognize what you possess, what lies within you, and how far are you willing to go to see it come to fruition, to see it be manifested, to see it come to pass. So again, thank you each and every one of you for tuning into this segment of When You Want to Give Up, Give In. I am author Anika Stewart, your inspirational speaker and life coach. God bless you all.